So in this video we will cover about while loop. In the earlier video we have covered about if, else and for loop. Okay, so let's start with while loop. So while loop is also a very important data structure, a control flow in Python, which is used to loop through the which is used to iterate until a condition is met. Okay, unlike for loop where we knew how much iteration we will have because we know the item in a list or tuple or dictionary, but in while loop we don't have any sequence to iterate over. Okay, so here we have some condition to be met to come out of the loop, otherwise there is a high chance that we will go to the infinite loop. Okay, so the basic syntax of while loop is it start with while, then we will have some condition, and then we will have some logic to be run within the loop. So let me show you one example here. Let's say, okay, so here we have a counter which is initialized to 0, and the condition will get false once the counter is more than 5 or equal to 5, because the condition is less than 5. So once the counter value will become 5, then we will come out of the loop. Okay, so it will start from 0 to 4. Okay, now example of infinite loop is, let's say we have this here, we don't have any counter to be increased. It means this counter value will always be 0, and this loop will always be continue. It won't stop because we don't have any condition, any counter which will be less than 5, because this value is always 0. So if I run this, we will go into the infinite loop. So in while loop there is a high chance then we will get the infinite loop if our condition is not properly met. Okay, so just keep in mind that while loop will stop only if you give the condition properly, otherwise it will continue. Okay, so let me give one example. Let's say we want to validate the age by input, user input basically. So if the user not, if we don't fill the proper age, the while loop will continue. Okay, so how we can write this? Let's say while, we first need to get the age from input functions. Input function we have already covered in our earlier videos. Let's say please input age. Okay, now user will input the age. After that we will have a while loop, and we will say if is digit. Okay, if this is not a digit, then it will continue. So while not a digit. Okay, so if it is not a digit, so what we can say? Okay, invalid age, and then we will ask please input age again, something like this. Okay, and once the user put the proper age, then we will have print age is age, and we will have formatted string in def here. Okay, let me comment this out. Okay, now let's run this and clear the console. If we run this, let's say we put something age like this, invalid age. Oh sorry, I need to, it should be a print. Okay, we run it age, something invalid age, please input the age again, something. Then this loop will continue until we put the age in proper format. So let's say now we put the age as 21. So now age is 21, which is a digit, so this condition won't met basically, while not age. Now it is a digit, and now we are getting print. Okay, so it will print the proper age. Okay, another example is, let's say we want to sum the user input until 0 entered. Okay, so we'll say total sum is 0 while true. While true, what does it mean? This condition is always true. Okay, the loop will continue until we break it. So break and continue we will cover in the next video. Okay, what is that? So user will input something. Let's say input, and we will ask user enter a number. And enter 0 to stop, something like this basically. Okay, now we will check if this number entered is equal to 0. It means we will break the loop and we will come out of the loop. We don't need this. Otherwise, if the number is not equal to 0, we will do a total equal to plus number. So we will increase the total by the number added by the user, and then we will say print formatted strings sum is total. Okay, something like this. Add a space here. Okay, let me just comment this out. Now we will run this, enter a number to add, let's say 12. Okay, it will keep asking us to enter a number because it is not 0, and 13, 1, something, and now if you want to stop, you will enter 0. Once we enter the 0, it will break out of this loop. Okay, we will have the total already, and then it will print the total of whatever number we have added. Okay, if we don't put this condition, okay, so this loop will be infinite loop now, because in the while we have true, which is always a true. If we run this now, it will never stop basically. Even if you put 0, it will keep asking the number and it will never stop, because we now don't have any condition to come out of the loop. That's why in while loop condition is important. Okay, let's go through it. So what is the difference between for loop and while loop? So in for loop we iterate over a sequence, we know how much iteration we need, but while loop will continue until a condition is met. Okay, so for loop automatically stops at the end of the sequence, but in while loop we need a manual condition to update so that the loop will get stopped. Infinite loop is risk is very low in for loop, because we know how much iteration we need and there is no need for any condition. But in while loop, as we saw, if we miss the condition, it will go into the while loop, means infinite loop. Okay, that's all for this video. If you have any questions about while loop, please comment, and if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. Thank you.